there's no way they actually believe in elves. Like, that can't be right. Today we're going over 8 different things that you should probably know before you go to Iceland. A lot of these really shocked me, and I didn't know until I got here talking to some of the locals, and so you're in for a treat. Make sure that you watch through the whole thing because I'm going to be saving one of the last ones for the end. So here's the truth about the land of fire and ice. Iceland is right next to Greenland, which is a very unique in terms of the way it was named, because Iceland you would think is very cold, full of ice, when in fact it is a little bit more green than Greenland is, and Greenland is actually pretty much iced over. It's much bigger. So if you're from America, Iceland is about the size of Kentucky. So if you can kind of visualize that, it's not a big island, and it was essentially an island that was formed from volcanoes. So back when the tectonic plates kind of split, during that time, the volcanoes erupted, and that's what created what we know as Iceland today. And so going into the first thing, Iceland, it really surprised me that these local Icelanders actually believe in elves and trolls. Like, I was talking to one of the locals here and I was like, is it true? Like, you guys have folklore? And they're like, yes, that's true. Like, there's actually, I think he told me about 70 to 80% of Iceland actually believes that trolls and elves are real. And so it kind of blew me away because I always thought this was like folklore, but when in fact, like, this is what they truly believe in, you know? And so I was like, oh, that was interesting. And, you know, they believe that, you know, these things are like people that you can't see, and that it's a really big part of their culture. They actually tie it into Christianity and use it to kind of understand their view of history and all these things. And so it's true. They do believe in it. The second thing is that Iceland is actually a country that contains 2 different continents, 2 different continental plates. And so we actually got to visit it. It's this line in the middle, not too far from Reykjavik, the main capital of Iceland. And it's this division between the North American plate and the Europe plate, So when you go there, it's really cool because you get to really see this divide in the gap of where the tectonic plates split open. And in the middle, it's filled in with what they told us was this lava ground that came up to fill up essentially what used to be that full plate of Pangaea from the very beginning. Another thing you should know about Iceland is that they have these geothermal pods or pools where essentially you'll see this pool of water and there'll be smoke coming out of it. Right now in the winter, it's about 20 degrees. I'm just here visiting. Probably maybe not the best time to visit because there's not a lot of daylight, but these geothermal pools are essentially hot pods because Iceland is this essentially, they have active volcanoes, and underground there's a lot of lava. From just the geothermic molten rock, a lot of these pods are very hot. And so that actually brings us to the next tip, which is really interesting, that Iceland's electricity and their water is actually very cheap. It doesn't cost a lot for them compared to the States because they're surrounded by this heat source that's pretty much free from nature. And so that's why they call it the land of fire and ice, because they're surrounded by water, right? And they also have this almost free way, very easy economic way of heating up their water. And so inside you'll see lights everywhere. You'll see the heater turned on because it just doesn't cost a lot to pay for that. Now on the other side, the cost of living is actually pretty high in Iceland. Well, we were going out for meals and things in America, in the States, we would maybe pay close to 15 to 20 bucks for like a meal, right? In Iceland, we were paying just about $25 at least. Everything was about 50% more expensive or so. And I think partly this is due to the fact that everything that comes in Iceland has to be shipped, including, eggs and things that they can't really supply on the island. And so that's what jacks up a lot of the prices of these items, including like trying to build more architecture. They always have to ship the like wood and different things, imports from other countries. And currently with a lot of the rules of imports and taxing, that's made it really expensive to actually live in Iceland. And you'll notice when you come here, and if you ever visit, it's very expensive to even buy. Food's okay, but when it comes to buying certain materials, certain souvenirs, even those things are really cheap. I think like some keychains for some people back home, and it cost me close to about $15 for just like a tiny little naked thing. Just to give you a little idea, 1 isk, which is the currency they use, 1,000 isk is about 7.95 USD. So how I was translating the prices was for every 1,000 isk, that was just about $8. And so most things were, you know, at least meals were usually 3 isk, if not 2 point something. But yeah, they were for every essentially every 1,000 isk, you get about $8 worth of USD. The other thing that I realized going into Iceland was that there was very little daytime. If you come in the winter, don't be surprised that the sun rises really late and it also sets pretty early. It doesn't come up to about 11 p.m. and it rises somewhere between 4 to 5 p.m. And so you really only get 6 hours of daylight. Now that can be a good or bad thing. I mean, if you like the dark, you know, that's fine. But for most people, they'll usually visit during the summer months because that allows them to have a little more daylight. And that's when pretty much there's a never ending day. It's always light out. And so that's also a really cool time to visit Iceland because you get to constantly be doing different things. You get to explore, you get to be out, and you get to just kind of enjoy the nature. And it's absolutely beautiful. When there's light out, it's super beautiful. Most of the lakes are right now frozen over. The rivers are frozen over. It's really cool to see it. Into winter, we visited this waterfall, actually, I'll show you right here, that was pretty much frozen over, but there was still water kind of coming through it. So those are kind of things that you get to see if you come to Iceland during the winter time. And of course, there's the Northern Lights. You want to definitely make sure that you check before you go to Iceland. You definitely should know there's websites that you can use. I'll link a few down below, but you can essentially check and see what the Northern Light activity is during that night. And it usually ranks it from a scale of 0 to 9. And so depending on 9 being the highest, you'll see these colors the most vibrant, and versus 0 meaning you won't really see much of it. So it's a good idea to kind of check and see what the forecast is so that you can really catch these lights, and they are beautiful when you get to see them. When I was here for the last few days, I haven't really been able to catch too many really good streaks, but maybe I saw like slightly some green streaks, and so that was cool. But I would definitely come again during a time when you could see them a little bit more brighter with different colors as well. Last part is that you should definitely know that they have very unique foods here in Iceland. A lot of what they eat is pretty much what they can catch from what they have here. And so as an island, they don't really have access to, you know, a lot of cow, a lot of beef, a lot of steak. And so what they eat a lot here is, it really shocked me that they eat sheep, that they eat a lot of lamb, a lot of those meats. They really, one of the delicacies is actually lamb head. So they'll actually have lamb head, which is something that I did try. It was very unique. It kind of tasted like turkey. I also got to try like a smoked lamb leg, which is something that they cook as well. They also do like lamb eyeballs, and they also serve fermented whale, which is something that I haven't got to try yet. But I would like to, maybe in the next few days. And yeah, it was really interesting getting to see some of these new foods because they're definitely like not served in the States. And so it was unique getting a little bit of a different taste out of some of these things. And obviously they have a lot of skyr, which is like basically a tarty yogurt, if you will. It's essentially a Greek yogurt that doesn't have too much taste. But yeah, they have these really crazy experiences where you get to like try different types of yogurt, different types of skyr. Yeah, so that's really cool. Anyways, that can kind of conclude our video. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's AJ. If you guys like these types of travel videos and want to see more, I'm currently in Iceland, so I'll be making a little bit more of these videos in the next few days. Go ahead and follow. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another video drop the next time I do so. And thank you guys so much for watching again. I appreciate your guys' time, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.